Hey there guys, I'm back to another video. Today I want to go and give my updated expectations to Spider Man PlayStation 4, and my updated expectations are going to be based off of the more recent trailers that we've gotten for this game. The E3 2017 trailer, which featured a lot of gameplay and certain new story elements along with a Mallos Morales cameo, and then the Paris Games Week trailer, which featured a lot more of the story, gave us a little bit more of that story and exactly what direction Insomniac Games is taking the story in, and of course some gameplay sprinkled in here and there. So in this video I'm going to divide it into three different parts. First, I'm going to talk about my expectations for the story now that we know exactly what kind of story is going to be told here, the gameplay, and then the miscellaneous stuff. So like the specs, 60 FPS, and my predictions for release date and all that other stuff. So story wise, what do I want the story to be as of right now, and exactly what my expectations for the story is going to be from these new trailers. So first up, the Paris Games Week trailer definitely demonstrated that we're going to get a story that is going to be based around Peter Parker and Spider-Man, which I love. I love it when movies or cartoon shows of Spider-Man focus on Peter Parker and Spider-Man as a character, because the Spectacular Spider-Man TV show, that is a great example of them focusing on Peter Parker and Spider-Man and how him being Spider-Man conflicts with his Peter Parker life. And even within Homecoming, the most recent Spider-Man movie, they focused on that Peter Parker and Spider-Man lifestyle. So I'm very excited to go and see that. Insomniac Games looked at other Spider-Man material and saw that these stories, or these kinds of stories that focus on Peter Parker and Spider-Man, work, so they're going to do it for this game. I hope that they execute it very well. They don't have too much of Spider-Man but not too much of Peter Parker. I think that they are going to hit that right balance, because Insomniac Games definitely know how to make really good stories when it comes to things like the Ratchet & Clank series that I've seen them do so far. Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative, he is the villain for this game, and I am very interested to go and see as to what Insomniac Games is going to do with this villain, because as a Spider-Man fan myself, I don't know much about this villain, because I did not read I have not read any of the recent Amazing Spider-Man stuff. So Martin Lee is a much more recent villain who was introduced around 2008, and he is Mr. Negative, and I just want Insomniac Games to take this villain and make him interesting, very compelling, very much like, a tragic sort of villain, like he doesn't want to do these things, but, for some reason this power within inside him or something going on is, making him do such things. So I'm very interested to go and see what Insomniac Games is going to do with this villain, because I really do want to like Mr. Negative, just because he is a much more recent villain, and the fact that he looks like he is sort of like a tragic sort of villain, like I said earlier. So now let's move on to the gameplay aspect of Spider Man PS4. So as we saw, all of us saw in that E3 2017 trailer, there was a lot of QuickTime events. So I hope that the QuickTime events are kept at a bare minimum. I hope that there are other options to do certain things within certain missions, and not just having to press a single button or two buttons or whatever to go and do certain actions, because I don't think that that's really what a lot of Spider-Man fans want within this new Spider-Man game that looks so goddamn good. So I hope that they keep the QuickTime events at a bare minimum. Insomniac Games tweeted out last year during the summer that the combat system is very extensive. They said that they are just scratching the surface. So that pretty much just tells me that the combat system within this game is going to be very extensive, and there's going to be a lot going on within the combat. So if that is true, I cannot wait to go and see what else they decide to go and do with the gameplay aspect of Spider-Man PS4. Now let's get into like the miscellaneous stuff. So first up, they said that last year, same time around the summer, that the game will be optimized for PS4 and PS4 Pro, but it will not run at 1080p 60 FPS on the Pro, and 60 FPS in general will not even happen. So as a person who really likes 60 FPS games and really likes it when game developers try to aim for that, and they sacrifice like the resolution for it, so instead of running at 1080p 30 FPS, they'll do like 720p 60 FPS. That's what I like it when game developers do, but but from what it looks like, from what Insomniac is telling us, is that they are unable to have the game run at 60 FPS entirely. So that is fine by me. You know, it's a little bit of a bummer, but you know, it's something that they have to do to go and make sure that the game runs properly and isn't, you know, a huge piece of mess when it launches on the PlayStation 4 sometime this year. Speaking of that, it is supposed to release this year. They have reconfirmed that it is coming out sometime in 2018. The Wikipedia page has it listed as a Q1/Q2 game, but personally, I believe that this game is going to come out within the third quarter, if not the fourth quarter of this year. I don't think that the game is even close to ready yet, but maybe that could just be Insomniac Games keeping everything tight locked. You know, they aren't really saying much about the game itself. They aren't really giving us a lot of news surrounding the game, so they're sort of just like teasing certain things here and there, but you know, they are working on it, so hopefully it comes out sooner rather than later. But you know, if they need to delay it to Q3, Q4 this year, I'm completely fine with that. Mallos Morales, he was featured within both recent trailers, the E3 2017 gameplay trailer. He was featured at the end, and then he was also featured within certain parts of the Paris Games Week trailer. So what do I want Mallos Morales to be within this game? Personally, I would just like it for him to just be a character, you know, him not being Spider-Man yet. It would be cool, like at the end, you know, sort of as like a after credit scene in the game after you finish the game, and then, you know, the after credit scene is sort of like Mallos Morales getting bitten by a radioactive spider, and that's what turns him into Spider-Man. So that could possibly be, you know, a sequel point for Insomniac Games if Marvel approves of them doing another Spider-Man game, or he could already be Spider-Man and you know, he's just hiding it from Peter, and maybe he'll be fighting alongside him later in the game. That would also be very, very cool. So whichever direction they decide to go and take with Mallos Morales, whether he's just, you know, a character, you know, that isn't Spider-Man yet, or he is a character and is Spider-Man, or you know, whatever direction that they decide to take, I am all for it. And the last little thing that I wanted to go and talk about is sort of just like wishful thinking on my part. I would love for them to release a playable demo of Spider Man PS4, because you know, this game has been announced and teased for so long. I think that fans have been waiting long enough to play this game. Whether it's like playable demos at like GameStops or like Best Buys, whatever, I will do whatever it takes to go and try this game for a couple minutes, because I would love to just swing around the city of New York and just, you know, play this game just for a little bit, because I'm just very, very excited for this game. So yeah, those are my updated expectations for Spider Man PS4. What are some of your expectations that you have for this game? Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I read all my comments. If you guys have not already, you can subscribe. I put new videos up every single Saturday. Want to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, you can do that as well. I will not be live streaming tomorrow, sadly. I usually stream every single Sunday at twitch.tv/tvsonicgaming from 12 p.m. EST to 5 p.m. EST. I'm taking the day off for tomorrow, but I will be back next week with more Sly 2 Band of Thieves action. So I think that is all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching this video again. I will see you guys next time with more videos. Game on, gamers.